Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make your kick not fight with the bass and show them how to blend those two together. So let's hop straight into it. We're in Pro Tools, the newest version right here. And let's just listen to this track. There's a conflict with the kick and the bass. So firstly, what we want to do is we want to send the kick to the bass and then load up what's called a multi-band compressor. Now I'm using the Pro Multi-Band Dynamics plugin inside of Pro Tools. This is one of my favorite plugins here. All we're going to do is basically set up what's called a side chain. Okay, so we're going to load that up on the bass and then we're going to go to our kick. Understand it this way, even if you're in FL Studio, you're going to learn signal flow. So right now we're going to treat each track like a kid going on a school bus. Okay, so this kid is going to go on a school bus. We're going to click where it says send. We're going to send our kid, aka the track, on a school bus. So we're going to click here, go to bus, and we're going to put them on a school bus, 1 and 2 in this case. Okay, they're on bus 1 and 2. Now the bus 1 and 2, we're going to send what's called 100% of our kid to that bus. That is a little crazy to think about, but think about it that way. Okay, so we're going to set that to 0, meaning we're going to send the entire signal or the entire kid on that bus. Okay. So the kid's just on the bus. They haven't gone anywhere. So we have to tell the bus where to go. So now we're going to load up that multi-band compressor on the bass and click this little key input and treat this like the school. So now the multi-band is the destination. So we're telling this school to import a bus. Okay, so like the way buses pull up to schools, we're going to go to bus and then we're going to match it. In this case, it's a mono signal, so 1. So now when we turn on the sidechain input monitoring, you'll hear your kick. So every time the kick hits, I have the compressor set up to lower the volume of the bass in the lower frequencies so that they're not conflicting, because here's the deeper understanding. In the kick, I loaded up an EQ and I tried to figure out, where does the kick live? The low end of the kick lives somewhere around 56 hertz. So if you have too much of one frequency, it's going to clip, okay? So what's happening is the bass and the kick both have that same frequency. And when they stack up, they keep stacking up and it starts to clip because it gets too loud. So what I want to do is every time the kick hits is lower the volume in that specific frequency range so that the kick can live there without them doubling the volume. Okay, because again, when frequencies play in the same area, they just stack in dB depending on their level. So with all that being said, we're going to just solo everything below about 180 in this case. Now, it depends on how much tone comes out of your bass, but don't worry about that. Anything below 100 hertz is pretty much sub. Anything below 80, let's say, is sub frequency. Okay, so what I'm doing is chiseling out the sub. So every time that kick hits, it's going to lower the sub of the bass. And I have it set to take out about 6 dB. Now, if you wanted that EDM kind of pull effect, you would exaggerate this even further. So this is more of like an EDM technique where you can audibly hear that bass drop. Okay, so that's the older way of sidechaining. A lot of people do it that way, but that's not always the way you want to approach sidechaining. Sometimes you just want a little dB taken out. Okay, so now when the kick and the bass play at the same time, they're not fighting for that frequency space. So that's what happens a lot with the bass. You just have two things fighting for the same space. Think about sounds like people in a room. Lower frequencies are bigger people. So physically, if you have a room and you have two big people trying to stand next to each other in the same spot, they're going to fall over, they're going to collide, and they're going to be like uncomfortable. So you have to give one big person space. Like one big person leaves the room while the other big person occupies the space. And then when that person's done, they switch out. Okay, so that's what I'm doing basically with the compressors, is getting the big people away from each other so they're not colliding. All right, so if you guys want more mixing tips, let me know in the comments below. Now also, I want to note with this kick, I basically shaped the tone by boosting 75 hertz. This is a bonus tip. 60 to 75 hertz, it really translates over to car speakers and other devices. So 60 and 75 hertz are just magical. Basically, I reshaped the tone. I carved out the high end because because it was very like boxy. So the more harmonics your kick has, the more boxy it's gonna sound. Or not boxy, I shouldn't say that, but the more harmonics you have to deal with. So all these little points, these are called harmonics. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling down the volume so it doesn't have as many points, basically. And then I'm running it through a standard clip to add that extra edge to the sound. We're saturating the sound here. I'll exaggerate it. Okay, so that's the knock that we're adding, but it's a more controlled knock. Okay, so that's the sound. And then we're sending that sound to duck out the bass. So if you guys want more mixing techniques, let me know in the comments below. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. Peace.